Now, I'm currently 32 years old and I've been building out a long-term dividend portfolio full of different dividend-paying stocks and ETFs for around 8 years straight now. And after using a ton of my savings as well as working super hard over the past several years, making as much active income as possible, I then use that active income to purchase different dividend-paying stocks and ETFs to the point to where as of right now, I own several hundred, if not several thousands of shares of tons of different positions across the stock market, as you can see right here. Now, across all my portfolios combined, I currently hold on to around $1 to $2 million of different stocks and ETFs that as of right now, as far as an estimation goes, pays me north of $90,000 per year in dividends or around $7,500 plus per month. Now, even though these numbers are all to be estimated, it is true that now consistently, my portfolios are now paying me several thousands of dollars on a weekly basis depending on which stocks or ETFs have dividend payouts, etc. Now, because I get this question a lot on my Twitter, which you guys should definitely go follow if you aren't already, I wanted to go through all the holdings within all of my portfolios and make a simple video sharing every single stock and ETF and how many of each of them I hold on to as of right now, how much they pay me, estimated at least, in dividends going forward, as well as I want to share with you guys some of my favorite positions as of right now and some of my least favorite positions and basically everything else in between. So sit back, get comfortable, and let's go through my entire 7-figure portfolio as a 32-year-old investor that currently earns north of $7,500 per month in dividends from doing absolutely nothing. Real quick, for those that haven't already, make sure to go to the first link in my description and grab my new dividend investing ebook where I share exactly how I went from $0 invested to now earning over $6,000 on a monthly basis and over $1 million invested in the markets. Along with the ebook, you're also going to receive my custom dividend tracker where you can track your dividend progress on an ongoing basis and reach your dividend investing goals. So make sure to grab yourself a copy of my dividend investing ebook and the new dividend tracker today. It's the first link in my description. Now, number one, BDJ, the BlackRock Enhanced Equity Dividend Trust ETF. This ETF, I currently have around 1,763 shares of as of right now, with an average cost of around $9 per share, and it's trading still around $8 per share. So I'm down a little bit on it as far as my cost basis goes, but this BlackRock fund pays me around $100 per month, which is pretty decent. Next up, we have my almost 1,500 shares of Devo, the Amplify CWP Enhanced Dividend Income ETF, which altogether pays me around $250 per month on average. Then we have my 1,262 shares of Verizon stock that I've held onto for several years now. I am still currently down in this position, not by as much as I was at one point, which is awesome. And through cover calls over the years, I've honestly made quite a bit of money off Verizon. But besides the point, Verizon as of right now pays me around $360 per month. But of course, this is a quarterly paid dividend, but I just divided it by 3. Next, we still have my 1,001 shares of Apple stock, which I bought years ago at $118 per share. So we're up a lot on this one. Apple stock pays me around $102 per month if we were to divide out the quarterly payout by 3. Next up, we have our 2,734 shares of QYLD, another one that I've held onto for quite some time now. QYLD pays me between $400 and $500 per month, depending on the payouts. We then have our 2,711 shares of Realty Income. Realty Income stock pays me north of $700 per month. Then we have our 1,218 shares of JEPI, which pay me around $500 or $600 per month. Then Enterprise Product Partners, 749 shares of this one, around $138 per month. BST, 700 shares, which pays around $213 per month, more or less. Then we have one of my favorites that I've been buying more of as of recently, JEPQ, 529 shares, which pays me almost $300 per month in income. Then we have ZIVB, 35 shares of this one, which pay me around $9 a month. We have our 246 shares of new CETF. This ETF pays around $41 per month. We then have XYLD. We have 194 shares of XYLD, which pay around $77 per month. We get around $200 per month on average from SCHD, which hopefully we are going to see a dividend increase during the next dividend payout coming up pretty soon here. But 2,215 shares of this one, which I will be continuing to add more shares to my portfolio until the end of the year. Then we have our 311 shares of Altria Group, which pay around $120 per month. We have our 262 shares of Triple N REIT, which pay around $60 per month. Then we have our 100 shares of JP Morgan. I've held these shares for several years now. The 100 shares of JP Morgan pay around $60 per month. Then we have our Vici shares, almost 300 shares that pay us around $46 per month. We then have our 59 shares of Kinder Morgan, which pay us around $8, $9 per month. Then our 283 shares of Main Street Capital, which pay us around $90 per month, around $132 per month on average from WB Carey. Then P&W pays us around $17 per month for 47 shares. Tesla, we have 255 shares of, which depending on the month, we could get anywhere from probably 50 to upwards of $100+ per month. 24 shares of UPS. We have 20 shares of PBA. We have 18 shares of Arbor Realty Trust. We have 16 shares of Extra Safe Storage, 17 shares of Simon Property Group. Then the last few positions in this portfolio, as of right now at least, and again, I haven't updated the entire portfolio in the last few days, but this is more or less what we're working with. Almost 700 shares of SFAL, 9 shares of Stag, 8 shares of T-Row, 19 shares of KMB, 3180 of VNQ, 200 of KO, 700 PSA. We still have our 849 of SPYI. We have our 19 FEPI. We have our 2 shares of DGRW. We have our 4 shares of FDVV. We have 12 shares of VIG, 267 shares of SPYT. We have 24 PEP. We have 41 AT&T. We have 1 share of DIVB. We have 151 shares of QQQI. We have 4 shares of AIPI. And lastly, we have 2 shares of QQA. So all in all, this is where the portfolio is sitting as of right now in late 2024. There's of course going to be changes ongoingly in my portfolio. The way that I look at investing, at least for me personally, is it's almost like an art project that you're consistently working on. It never really is going to be perfect, but building out a long-term portfolio, the cool thing about it is, excuse me if you guys have heard me say this, but it's really cool that you can always sell in and out of things and make decisions ongoingly depending on if your objective changes, etc. So hopefully in the long term, build out what is as close to the perfect portfolio to what your personal goals, objective is, etc. Now, in case you guys are curious what my personal goal is as a 32-year-old investor, I personally own physical real estate outside of the stock market, which I'm using that real estate more as a growth investment long term into the future. So this portfolio, my stock market side of things, for the most part is going to be made up of different dividend paying stocks and ETFs. Some of them are going to be lower yield and more growth potential. Some of them are going to be higher yield and less growth potential. And some of them are going to be somewhat in the middle, but I want to build a portfolio that's going to be able to pay for all my bills and then some later on in the future, which as of right now, this portfolio, to be honest with you guys, could actually pay for my bills, which is pretty incredible considering I built this portfolio in around 8 or so years of extremely hard work. But as of right now, at least for the foreseeable future, I'm going to not live off this portfolio, but instead use my $7,500 or so per month and then reinvest it into more shares of different stocks and ETFs. Some of the ones I've been buying a lot of as of recently, to give you guys some insight, are names like JEPQ, the JP Morgan Nasdaq Equity Premium Income ETF. I've been buying more Devo, the Amplify CWP Enhanced Dividend Income ETF. I've also been buying more of Main Street Capital, for example, and other things like SFAL as of recent, names like SPYI or even QQQI, etc. And if you guys want to see more insights on what I've been buying consistently throughout my portfolios, and if you want to see different stocks and or ETFs that I'm a big fan of, definitely subscribe to my channel because that's all we talk about over here. So now that I shared with you guys my 7-figure portfolio that as of right now pays me an estimated monthly income of around $7,500 per month or around $90,000 per year if we were to look at things forward. I lastly, most importantly, want to hear from you guys down below. When it comes to long-term investing, what's the #1 stock or ETF you would recommend looking into? Drop the ticker symbol in my comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like on it and subscribe for more future content like this. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.